Hey guys, what if you had a button that you could press that would turn off your fight or flight response? So imagine a remote that you could hold in your hand with an actual literal button on it that when you pressed it, it would increase your parasympathetic nervous system activity, so that calming rest and digest system, by up to 50% within 5 minutes of pressing that button. Now, I know this sounds kind of far-fetched and like it's probably not at all possible, but the technology that I'm about to share with you in this video, this button that you can press that I'm talking about, is backed by over 30 clinical trials, and they have partnered with about 60 or so research organizations and institutions, places like UCLA and Harvard. And this dialing up of your parasympathetic nervous system response, pressing this button essentially, is being used successfully to treat conditions like CFS and Long Covid. But not only even these conditions, studies are showing clinically significant benefits in treating all sorts of mental and physical health conditions. So there is a lot of benefit that can come from having the ability to tap into your autonomic nervous system and regularly dial up that parasympathetic nervous system response. So in this video, we're going to go over what this is exactly, what it's used for, how it works, and the science to back it. And I'm also going to demo for you exactly how to use it, because I have this device and I've been using it for about 2 months. So I'll share with you what my experience of that has been. So what is this mysterious device? What it is this right here. It's called Nurosym. And Nurosym is used to target your autonomic nervous system. And I'm sure if you've been watching my channel at all, or any of the recovery channels out there, you've seen in countless recovery interviews that people who successfully recover from chronic fatigue syndrome and long COVID quite often find that success by incorporating something that addresses their brain, their amygdala, the limbic system, the autonomic nervous system, something that is targeting that threat assessment system in their body, and finding ways to work with their brain, to work with their nervous system, to dial down that sympathetic response or that fight or flight response. So that is why when I found out that this existed, I was really excited about it and really excited to give it a try. So how Nurosym works is that it delivers small targeted electrical impulses to the brain through the vagus nerve. And this is what increases the response of the parasympathetic nervous system by up to 50% within 5 minutes. So the vagus nerve, if you're not familiar with what it is, it's one of the major nerves in the human body. It's the longest cranial nerve and extends from the brainstem to various organs in the body, including the heart, lungs, and the digestive system. The vagus nerve plays a crucial role in regulating many bodily functions such as heart rate, digestion, and breathing. It is also involved in the body's stress response and helps to promote relaxation and calmness. So what all this is called neuromodulation. And neuromodulation is the process of modifying or regulating the activity of the nervous system through various techniques. So here it involves the use of electrical stimulation to target the vagus nerve and specific areas of the brain, with the aim of influencing our neural activity and providing these therapeutic effects. So neuromodulation is a rapidly evolving field, and it's been around for a little while, but it was previously only available through invasive surgical procedures. So you'd need to go to your doctor, and then you would have a device, something sort of like a pacemaker, that would be implanted under your skin. But now it's available in a non-invasive way and without a prescription, which makes it accessible and much easier to use for a much wider group of people. So I've done quite a bit of research looking into Nurosym, and it is a certified medical device, and it's one of the most widely used devices that is studied in these non-invasive vagal neuromodulation studies. And there are a lot of conditions with the potential to benefit from this, because there are tons of conditions that have been linked to autonomic nervous system dysregulation or vagal nerve dysregulation. Some of these include chronic fatigue syndrome, long COVID, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, fibromyalgia, postviral syndromes, autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, symptoms like brain fog, irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, anxiety, stress, and other stress-related conditions, things like migraines, inflammatory conditions, insomnia, depression, major depressive disorder, epilepsy, and heart failure. Some research data suggests Neurosym also improves learning and short-term memory and cognition, which is kind of exciting. And it has also been shown to promote relaxation, mood, sleep, healthy digestion, increased heart rate variability, as well as to alleviate symptoms of stress, burnout, and adrenal fatigue. It's really exciting stuff, and you can see why I've been excited for the opportunity to use this and why I've been using it every day. There's a ton of research out there also looking at things like impact on athletic performance. Athletes have been using it, looking at its impact on muscle recovery, even things like obesity or alcoholism. And they're even looking into its potential benefits with just health, overall health and longevity and lifespan. But the biggest reason why I'm sharing this with you here on this channel, why we in this community have potential to be excited about it, or why I think you'd want to know about this, is that neuromodulation is shown to have an incredible impact on conditions related to dysautonomia, another mouthful. So things like chronic fatigue syndrome, POTS, and anything else that's related to vagus nerve issues. So dysautonomia, if you're not familiar with the term, refers to a group of conditions that affect the autonomic nervous system. It's characterized by dysfunction or impairment of the autonomic nervous system, leading to various symptoms such as fatigue, dizziness, lightheadedness, a rapid heart rate, and difficulty regulating body temperature. Dysautonomia, still a mouthful, can be caused by various factors, including things like chronic stress, psychological trauma, and certain viral infections. Sound familiar? Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff, which I think is how to actually use it, because it's really simple to use and you barely even notice that you're using it when you've got it on. So it's just two pieces. It's a remote with a couple of buttons and then a little clip that's going to go on your ear. So the first thing that you do is you clip this onto your ear. But before that, this is just water, not anything stronger, I promise. And they recommend just to get the insides of the clip just a little bit wet, because that helps increase the conductivity of it, so you can more easily feel those electrical impulses. And then what you do is you just clip it on right here on your ear. And then this part of the wire is bendable, so you can tuck it behind your ear and tighten it in there to help keep it in place. And you'll find that there's kind of a little sweet spot once you get using it where you really feel the impulses. And although you can use this while doing anything, walking around your apartment, doing dishes, whatever you want, I find that even with this cord, it has the potential to move around a little bit. So I prefer to do it while sitting or lying down, but up to you. So you take the remote and got it upside down. And the first thing you do is just turn it on with the on button, which is the button at the bottom. You'll see 5 lights come across the top, and then it defaults to 30 seconds. So you've got a plus and a minus button. So you can, depending on how long you want to use it, I usually stick with 30 minutes. So when you've got the time that you want, you hit this one at the top, which is the set button, which moved it over. You can see this little sort of lightning bolt thing. I don't have my glasses on. This little symbol here. And now that indicates it's time to set how the intensity of the electrical impulses that you'll be feeling. So you have complete control over that. It starts at 0. So you can just slowly start dialing it up, one click at a time, until you start to feel it. And this is going to vary for everybody. I start to feel it somewhere around 17, somewhere between 17 and 22, 23. If I've got to 20 or 21 and I can't feel anything, I know that I have to readjust it. It might not be in the right spot, or maybe I have to add a little bit more water, because in those early 20s for sure, I start to feel it. So once you've found the place that you want to keep it, it just feels like a nice, comfortable little sort of vibrating pulse on your ear, then you hit that set button again at the top. Don't forget to hit the set button, otherwise it will just time out and turn off. So once you've hit that set button, you're now locked in for 30 minutes at that 21 or whatever intensity level that you selected. And you always have the option when you're using it to change the intensity. So while you're using it, if you want to turn it down or turn it up, you can do that at any time. And they recommend doing this once to twice a day for 30 to 60 minutes at a time. And they recommend doing it in the morning and the evening if possible, because this, they explain, is often when our sympathetic nervous system, so that fight or flight, is most active. So you're going to get the sort of most bang for your buck, so to speak, by using this in the mornings and the evenings. That being said, I use this at multiple times a day. So I pair it with every time I meditate, which is typically in the morning. So I'm getting that morning shot in. So every time I sit down to meditate, I put this on, close my eyes, finish my meditation. It's 23 minutes, and it just feels like double whammy. It's just, I'm like, oh, meditating and stimulating the vagus nerve. It just really feels like a good way to start my day. And then I also pair it with other things. I often do a second meditation, which is in the afternoon, so I'll use it with that. And I read before bed most nights. So every night I get into bed, turn out the lights, pull up my dimly lit Kindle, don't want too much light stimulation, with my blue light blocking glasses on. And then I put this on while I'm reading until I start to drift off. And then I take it off and go to sleep. But I also use it in a targeted kind of way as needed. So if I'm having a really stressful day, I will put this on. Or if I'm in a really stressful meeting, I'll pop this on in the meeting, because I'm in Zoom meetings all day. So I think people see this and they just assume it's my headphones or something. And if you happen to be someone I work with and you're watching this video and you see this thing on frequently when I'm in a meeting with you, give me just a moment to pause and reflect on, like, what are you saying to me in that meeting that I always feel the need to stimulate my vagus nerve? So yeah, that's pretty much it. And once I've got it on, I pretty much forget that it's there. The only thing that I need to do after I set it up is I find that sometimes after I've had it on for, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes, I can no longer feel the little pulses. So I have to either just readjust it. Maybe it's just moved off the spot a little bit, or maybe I have to add a little bit more water, or maybe I have to turn it up with the remote, which you can do easily just by giving that select button a double tap, and then you can adjust the intensity and reset it as needed. And they recommend that you use this for 30 to 90 days to assess the benefits that you may or may not get. But many people who use it report seeing benefits after their first session. I remember one particular example. I'd had a really stressful week. There was a potential strike happening at my work, and my team was a crisis team responsible for preparing for it. So I was working 12, 14-hour days on top of all this YouTube stuff and everything else I do. And by Friday evening, I was in my last meeting of the day, and I was just fried. And it really felt like CFS-like symptoms coming on, like my body just felt like it was shutting me down. So in that meeting, I put this on, and it was a half-hour meeting. And by the end of it, I was feeling significantly better. So I've definitely noticed that it's helping me. Like, those symptoms had gone down. And I also use it if I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep, which happens to me sometimes. So I'll wake up, and when that happens, it can sometimes take me 1 or 2 hours to fall back asleep. But I've started putting this on during those times when I wake up, and I'm usually back asleep within 15 to 30 minutes, which for me is really fast. So that's a massive improvement. And just overall, I've noticed that my sleep is getting better. And also, I feel more resilient during the week, and I can't quite pinpoint where that's coming from, but I think it's just got to be because my stress levels are down, I probably have a bit more mental clarity, sleeping a little bit better, fight or flight not as engaged as often. So there's just a sort of cumulative effect of things that are happening. And it's also just a nice thing to feel like I have this tool in my back pocket that I can pull out when I need it and use it to help me to get through my day or my evening. So there's my experience, but there's way more than my experience to support that this is actually helping people. There are dozens of randomized placebo-controlled clinical trials that have shown benefits on this, and studies are led by independent university experts who have no financial ties to Nurosym. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit of what the research is already showing for this. In clinical trials, 1-hour sessions of Nurosym favorably altered 3 key parameters of heart rate variability when compared to a placebo. These results show significant parasympathetic activation and reductions in the fight or flight response. There was a highly significant improvement in fatigue scores after treatment. A very significant improvement was observed after 10 treatment sessions for long COVID symptoms. And neuromodulation decreased depression symptoms and improved mood in only 5 days of treatment. And then also with postural tachycardia, without a significant drop in blood pressure, it was significantly less in subjects who received this Nurosym neuromodulation compared to control groups. So inflammation throughout the body and brain can contribute to disease development, premature aging, mental health problems, and cytokines are the main biomarkers or the measures of inflammation in the body. And in a randomized controlled trial, inflammatory cytokines were significantly lower in the group that received Nurosym neuromodulation compared to the placebo group at the end of 3 months. And vagus nerve impairment, low parasympathetic activity, and inflammation are often associated with cognitive problems such as brain fog, fatigue, and depression. And studies are also showing improved cognitive functions, improved memory, and better learning in comparison to a placebo. And still going, by the way, I can still feel it. Might as well just keep it going for this video. Let's see if I seem more relaxed and in a more calm state by the time this video is done. And in addition to all of the science that's out there, to all of the studies that are backing this, there are also loads of CFS and Long Covid recovery stories from people who have been using Nurosym. And if you go to their website, which I'll link in the video description, you can take a look at some of those recovery stories there and just see the testimonials of what people have gone through and what their experience has been while using this. It's really incredible. The number one thing I'm hearing from you guys, the number one thing I'm hearing from people who recover, the number one thing I'm hearing from the experts out there, from the people who are working in the recovery programs that are actually helping people, is that working with your nervous system for many people is key. So I'm not saying that you need something like this to recover. The vast majority of those people recovered without ever even knowing that this existed. So if you're not able to get it, it does not mean you won't recover. It's just exciting if there's something that could help speed things up a little bit or help you a little bit on your journey to get where you're trying to go faster, and maybe help with some other things that you're struggling with as well. It's just very exciting to see what technology is accomplishing these days. So if this sounds interesting to you, you can learn more about it on their website, which is linked in the video description. And it's important to know that this isn't going to be suitable for everybody. They have a few conditions on their website that are not recommended that you use this if you have them. So really important to check in with your trusted healthcare medical professionals and see if this is safe for you. But if it is deemed something that could potentially be helpful for you, one of the nice things is that you can do a 30-day risk-free trial. So if you use it for 30 days and you aren't seeing as much benefit as you would like, you can just easily contact their support through their website and get a full refund. And I've also got an affiliate link in the description that will get you a 5% discount if you do decide to order it. I thank you if you use the link. I thank you for the support. I would have done this video with or without an affiliate link, but I think that if I'm going to be promoting things, essentially advertising for other companies, if there's an affiliate link option, I'm going to take it. But either way, I would have 100% wanted you to know about this. I put a video out about this for my channel members quite a while ago. As soon as I found out about it, I didn't have affiliate link then. Didn't know that I would. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that this existed. And our channel member shout out today is to Oh boy, apologies in advance. I don't think I'm gonna get your name right. Line Kiar? Line Kiar? However you say your name. Thank you for your patience with my butchering it, and thank you for joining. I appreciate the support. And for those of you watching, what do you think of this? Have you tried something like this before? Would you be interested in trying? Are you going to give it a try? Let us know in the comments. It'd just be great to hear what your thoughts are on all of this and what potential you think this has for our health. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope to see you in this next one.